dream just to be where you are, in a world I can see where you are, though you are meant to be. Wish you're here next to me, where you are. we're toxic, but it just don't feel right letting you go. But you play a game, I can't escape. I'm caught up in the middle. You're running through my head, and all the things we said. I wish I could forget you.
I know I'm not the easiest to love. I thought I would at least be worth a shot. Instead you gave up on me 2 months in, 'cause my flies were too hard to deal with. Did you even love me in the first place? In the first place? If you did, we wouldn't be in this place. In this place, I wouldn't be here trying to say I'm sorry for parts of me. Did you even love me in the first place? In the first place? In the first place? I know I jump into things too fast. I thought I could trust you right off the bat. Instead you turned my vulnerability against me, and tore apart the heart from my sleeve. Did you even love me in the first place? In the first place? If you did, we wouldn't be in this place. In this place, I wouldn't be here trying to say I'm sorry for parts of me. Did you even love me in the first place? In the first place? In the first place? In the first place? Did you even love me in the first place? In the first place?
Make me feel
Good evening and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. Tonight you're joining us for our coverage of HueFest 2022, the first major championship for Boise State Esports. And we're going to be joining their Overwatch squad as they try to do well in the qualifiers and secure a place to the in-person finals in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. As you can see right there, we are going to have a best of 3 in Overwatch. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Audrey Runa Norris, if I'm correct, just making sure I get that right. And this is great. Not only do we have a new season, but a new caster joining us. How's it feel to join the team?
Feels really good. I mean, I've been on the couch a couple times before, and it's really interesting to finally get to be up here on the desk and cast for a bigger Overwatch competition.
Sure. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that was for an Esports Tower event, correctly? Am I correct?
I was doing the high school, Overwatch tournament.
Oh, okay, the state tournaments here. So now a bit of a step up in ELO level now because we are going to be going into some top 500 players. Boise State, their roster is just so stacked right now, and I can't wait for you to be introduced to it, for our audience to be introduced, because this is such an exciting semester. Summer break is finally over. We're back into the academic year, and so let's take one look again at the event tonight and how things are going to work out. I said this is Hugh. That's Harrisburg University Esports Invitational. It's 6v6 competitive, best of 3, control, hybrid, and escort. And of course, 6v6 of very telling. That means that we're going to be doing Overwatch 1 because Overwatch 2 releases in the middle of the semester. So this is kind of a mini tournament to start things out. Kind of give one last swan song away to 6v6.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this goes tonight, especially considering it'll be a great contrast for when we see the 5v5s happening later this year with Overwatch 2.
Yep, and Boise State is sure going to, some of their players are really going to try to, get the best that they can out of that 6v6. We have some great tank players, so one last chance for them both to show off their talents together. And one other thing that we have is going to be the maps are set. So it's going to be Rialto, Nepal, and Eichenwald. We're starting out on Escort, I believe, so that's going to mean we're starting out on Rialto, which is nice because just in terms of history from Boise State, that's not a stage that we cast on that much. What are your opinions on Rialto?
Rialto's a decent map. I think the thing about Overwatch maps is there's a lot of good ones for different characters, and so it just depends on the map that you're getting on whether or not it will be effective or not. So since we haven't casted in a lot, I think it'll be interesting to show it off a little bit before Overwatch 2.
Well, let's also, one thing that isn't going to change, though, between Overwatch 1 and 2 are going to be Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch. Those are tried and true, and it's never to take a fair fight. That means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared, and of course, when you can build up tempo. Doc's Keys to the Game are brought to us by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. Also, just as a look over on the stage, we can kind of see the general lineup that Boise State has. Some really key players that have been in with Boise State for quite a while. Matt, Merck, Kel, some new talent that's going to be joining in as well. So we'll just have to see what the specific lineup that Boise State has, their opening lineup, if you would. It's all brought to you by Count Identity Trust Global Network. Delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. So we have the game, we have the occasion, we just need the matchup now. And if I look there, I think I see Miami is going to be Miami, Ohio. And so let's get that out of the way. This is Miami, Ohio, not Miami, Florida. Here we go. The first round of the Hue 2022 online qualifiers. Boise State's going to be on tacking, and already they are making some making some space for themselves. Actually, excuse me, defending. What am I saying? They're going to be defending and still making space for themselves. Only a little bit over the bridge, Miami's going to push.
Yeah, so far it looks like the tanks have been doing a really good job keeping up the pressure, so that way the other team can't push forward and get the, take any control, which is really important, of course.
Yeah, and especially I also think Goblin on that far, you know, as long as they can keep them toward this initial bridge here, there might be, like you can see right there already, opening it up for an environmental. Going to take Bonesaw out with that one. So Boise State Goblin already on his way to his ultimate that's already charged up, which is just insane that he's charged it up in 1.5 fights.
Yeah, and this is a really solid place for his ultimate, too. There's not a lot of space for the team to go, so if he gets the chance, he could have a really good setup here to just keep him. And there it goes!
That's just filthy! There's nowhere to run, absolutely nowhere to run. All trapped indoors is just going to have them heading back to spawn and drags them over into the drink.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was a really good team play for them there. Farah getting the ultimate there was able to not only get just good pressure for them, but help their teammates get their ultimates too. So this is now the Roadhog, Mercy, and Ana all are stacked up, ready to go.
Goblin is just waiting. He's going to try to walk in for another environmental. They push through the building, and now they manage to at least get onto the checkpoint, which is an improvement from last time. But Matt Burke is hanging right out here with this whole hog, waiting for the opportune moment to get it. Misses the hook. We also see Amp Matrix going to be heading down from Shocker. Also, the anti-nade has been thrown out onto Miami, but it looks like they're going to be able to survive through that. And Goblin just doing work here, taking out Shocker. And once one goes down, then it doesn't seem like Miami has had too much luck pushing forward, although they're going to try to get as much distance as they can on this.
Yeah, the D.Va is trying to take out the Roadhog, just trying, it looks like, move them up and get some pressure, but the Roadhog was able to push him off, get the hook. Unfortunately not off, but looks like the Ana is also faring pretty well with some assistance from Bagel.
Yeah, Bagel is such a good team member. You know, just being stuck on Mercy duty right now doesn't really show off his talent, and I'm sure we'll see some great plays from him going forward. But meanwhile, that's a play that's not so great for the Broncos. Double Deadeye there is going to most assuredly allow Miami to get a good push on this payload and get close to the first checkpoint.
Yeah, and it looks like the Boise State is recouping right now as Miami is slowly pushing up and trying to get in place. They've got a decent setup right here, but we'll just see whether or not Boise State's able to come back or if these guys are going to be able to push through this little tunnel area. Or maybe the Farah Goblin will keep picking them off like they've been trying to.
Yeah, at this point, the question has to be what happens now that Miami, Ohio has taken the point and Matt Merck gets caught in a shatter. Kel also getting frozen by this May, can't escape from that one. And now's the time I have to ask, do you think the Far Mercy is as good heading into the second thing, or should Boise State maybe change it up a little?
I think the Farah Mercy play has been helping them out. As long as they get some more, just closed off areas that they can effectively play from, I think it'll be all right. But I think it just depends on how Miami is able to, combat that as well, because it looks like they're finally noticing that team play and they're getting jumping on it now.
Yeah, there haven't been any swaps from Boise State, so we'll see if this composition holds strong for them. That's not going to be the case, as Matt Merck is the first to get taken out. Miami, Ohio just almost effortlessly pushing around the final corner here and bearing down on the second checkpoint. Kella's going to take the high ground, but the D.Va's going to charge up there, try to knock him off of that. Dragon Strike is thrown out, as well as Nano Boost, but to help Miami, Ohio survive through that, they're going to be using that Sound Berry. Also going to throw down their own Amp Matrix. Matt Merck tries to get an advantage by throwing out the whole hog, but I'm not quite sure what the purpose of that was.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to keep them pushed back away from the point, but they had already backed off with the ultimates that were in play and trying to recover from everything going on. And it looks like they're pushing back in, and with the way that, with Goblin gone and Bagel gone, I don't know if Boise State's going to be able to keep up without the healing that they need.
They're going to throw out Gravitic, pick up 2 in it, but it's not enough. Pilot D.Va just remixed it. Okay, I'm just going to restart this. Just a Barrage is only going to pick up 1, and Boise State just has to go off the side and toss it all away. And it does look like we are seeing the swaps coming through now.
Yeah, it looks like Miami is going to make another good push as they're doing some swap outs to Bastion and Orisa.
Which, yeah, I'm not quite sure what Matt Merck probably trying to do a little scouting there, but I'm not sure. That's going to put a stagger onto Boise State nonetheless. I mean, I've really got to hand it to CGS. He's just been doing insane work on this Cassidy. Basically, his Deadeye is so consistently hitting, basically force Boise State off of this Far Mercy. We're going to see what they can do with the Bastion now as they go through the final choke point. Boise State is going to try, maybe trying to do a flank here. Just going to have to see. Nano Boost now online for Chosen. Who is Chosen going to choose? Bastion's right in front of it. It doesn't even look like Boise State is quite set up here. I mean, they finally set up, but it took a long while for that play to come out. Nano Boost is going to go out onto Bastion, but Miami, Ohio just kind of waits that out.
Yeah, it looks like they had a good setup at the beginning where they were pretty central and were able to get like just some good setups right in this little entrance here, but then they got pushed back to this left side. And I mean, oh, the Reinhardt.
The Fearless, he like had 10 health left when he finally made contact with the Bastion, but hey, that's what your big health pool is there for, a tank, and Miami, Ohio is going to claim that despite a rough start, they really came alive.
Oh yeah, totally. I think Boise State had some really solid defense there, but once their actual like setups got shaken, Miami was just able to push through and just recover every time Boise State tried to get a big play off.
Yeah, and here we have to see right here, because this was very close in terms of health. You just see the health bar there. He's down to base health, doesn't have his armor. He's going to have the sound barrier there, came in clutch.
Oh yeah, totally. If it had been just a little bit longer, he would have gone flying into the wall there.
Oh yeah, he didn't have any. Well, I suppose he wouldn't have been doing any flying. He would have just kind of died midair because Bastion would have mowed him down.
It's true.
Well, now we head into Boise State's attack push here. And what do you think the Broncos decide to use here? What do you like on attack Rialto?
It's been a while since I've talked about like attack Rialto, but I think that they would definitely benefit from some of the setup that they had before. I think they definitely need to switch out their tanks though, because they just need a little bit more aggressive pushing from them. And I'm not really sure. I think their supports were doing pretty decent where they were at, and the DPS I think could maybe change up a little bit. But I think what Boise State really needs right now is they just need the ability to adapt, because Miami was really just hammering them with the recovery every single time they did a big play.
Boise State is amping themselves up, looking for this first push here. See if Miami can provide a bit of a stagger for them. They're going to try to wall them off, but Miami just goes charging out, and what a charge there that is. If that's not an all-in mentality, I don't know what is.
We'll see if that trade plays off for them. So far, Miami has been putting up a decent fight, but they are slowly but surely getting taken down by Boise State, allowing them to push forward.
That's quite an interesting play from Matt Merck. Does look like the trade did work out in the end, but just basically settling, immediately choosing to go for a 1v1 trade. Now they're going to be heading up around the corner, trying to make some space for themselves, and a nice wall there is going to be able to get Bonesaw in a sticky situation here as Matt Merck is swinging back and forth with Kabunga from Miami. Boise State is trying to get their first pick. Matt Merck is frozen. He's going to go down to half health. And Kabunga gets the first elimination of this fight, taking out Goblin. And without that, Boise State might just have to reset here. They're going to throw down the Amp Matrix, try to even it up, and Plato's well on his way to doing that. Also with the Deadeye, it seems the Cassidys all around have been doing a good job today. But Bonesaw still making Boise State's job tough by eliminating Bagel. Looks like the Broncos have been able to clear this up and will be able to get to their first checkpoint.
Yeah, that was an interesting altercation there because, of course, the first wall went up and then the second wall went up, and so a lot of people got trapped in there and it was preventing the point from moving, but they were able to get a solid play in there. And I think if that Deadeye had been a little bit, like if it hadn't gone out the way that Boise State wanted to, I don't think they would have won that altercation, but...
What a shatter there is going to head right onto their Diva, but their Lucio, Miami's Lucio has been on point with these sound barriers, being able to keep Miami really steadfast throughout anything Boise State throws at them. That Blizzard looks like it comes out just a little late in the fight, so we're not going to get too much mileage out of that. Now the Broncos look like they're being hard held at checkpoint 1.
Yeah, especially because Matt Merck keeps getting taken down before they can really get a good, effective push off. And of course, we've got the environmental area here is really big too, because you got to be super careful to not fall off, like Matt Merck just did.
but it's only going to be, you know, one little blemish in the fight there because everything just avalanched into the Broncos' favor at the last moment there. And now the Broncos going to make more space for themselves. A little under 4 minutes as they head to the second checkpoint, so not the worst pace they're setting for themselves. Pretty much matching Miami so far.
Yeah, it looks like both teams have been doing better on attack with just the recovery ability so far. And as they're pushing in here, it looks like they've got a decent setup. They just got to get a few of the key players from the other team out of the way, and then they'll be able to set up. Like, Bonesaw has been really effective with those walls, so if they can get him out, same with Kabunga, they can probably keep their pushes going to the point.
Nice. Oh, they're going to have to try to dodge the self-destruct. Looks like they do that just fine. Kabunga trying to get a flank onto them. Throws out the Shatter as well, and Goblin is just caught by surprise. Very aggressive Flame Strike as well. Bonesaw is going to keep the pressure up on the Broncos, sending them down 2. They're going to try to keep the Broncos from escaping with that May wall. But Bagel is back there providing support, where it looks like Boise State goes for a tentative soft reset.
Yeah, they definitely have to be careful here because CGS has his ultimate again, and as we've been talking about before previously, Cassidy has been doing really solid on both teams, so if they get that ultimate off right, that could be the downfall of Boise State here. So of course, they do have all of their ultimates as well, except for Lucio, so.
Yep. And it's just going to be a Shatter. It's going to charge right into Miami. They all walked into that one. Boise State wins that, and again, great ultimate usage there. They only spent 2 ultimates. They now have 3 in the bank.
Yeah. No, and especially it's going to be good for this next part where they've got they've got a solid just area control with both Diva and May. They can really push hard here and probably trap Miami and get another solid push off if they need to.
Ooh, wall's going to be thrown up there to try to push Miami into this blizzard. A lot of them are frozen. Jocker surprisingly manages to take out Goblin, but Boise State is answering back in full force. Matt Burke picking up a double before he's stopped by Bonesaw, Kel, and Bagel, cleaning up the final eliminations to get Boise State the second checkpoint for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And a nice stagger.
Now they just need to clean up and push forward.
Staggering out the supports like that buys Boise State even more time. They might be able to beat the time Miami, Ohio, but remember, Miami set the pace of not losing one fight once they got the second checkpoint. So if Boise State wants to go into overtime with an advantage, they can't lose here.
Yeah. When they get in here, they're definitely going to want to push aggressively so that way they can get a nice setup and make sure that if they do manage to take them down, that they can shatter their setup too. So looks like that Deadeye did not go through, though, so that's going to be in Boise State's favor as they try to avoid the Diva as well.
Yeah, that was basically the 2 main pieces of ammo that Miami had to hold the Broncos at bay. The Broncos are just kind of going to soft reset that. They only lost Plato, so they just have to wait for him to be back online. He's run across those boats. Now the Broncos can fight as a full team again. They're going to take an indoor route here. Actually look like they're going to be rotating up.
Yeah, and it looks like Miami is waiting for him, though, with a solid May wall trying to keep him back, but they fire back with another one.
That is a beautiful May wall by Goblin. Just split Miami up right down the middle. They just fall one after the other if they can't fight as a team. Boise State is going to take out their Diva. That is going to be the final fight here. Or I think we're approaching the final fight here. Miami has to hold steadfast here.
How this ends all depends on Miami's placement right here and what ults they can get off effectively.
Of course, Matt Mark also sitting on the shatter. I mean, it's a question almost of who's going to shatter first. Is it going to be Miami or Boise State? Because if Matt Mark gets the right angle on them and finds them at just the right moment, we're going to be seeing the self-destruct throw out and just aggressively in the face of it. But the shatter goes right in Matt Merck's face and the plan falls apart. And Boise State is going to be forced back to checkpoint with only 1 minute left.
Yeah, Miami came out of that fight with only Bonesaw down, who actually switched to Doomfist for that encounter, so that'll be interesting to see how that shakes up a little bit more.
Well, it's already shaken up pretty good, and, you know, it's not out of the question that he could even charge up his ultimate, because he's already been doing work, and that is not the stagger Boise State wanted. They do not have time to spare here.
No, they're going to want to make sure they can regroup and get in there. And hopefully with their 2 ultimates, they might be able to pull something off, especially if Lucio and Cassidy can get theirs too.
Yeah, but this Lucio for Miami has been so good at using that sound barrier at just the right time. He can kind of negate the final push that Boise State has here. But Plato takes out Bonesaw before he can do that. Now both ultimates from Miami are going to be brought out, and Madmerk pins the opposing Reinhardt, and the Deadeye is able to pick up a double. Plato going to a triple, and what a fabulous final play from the Broncos just when there isn't any time left. Now Miami is going to be doing the final stagger onto point. Boise State is just going to take the point before they can do that. They get the extra minute for overtime, and they are not out of this.
Yeah, that was a really good push for them there. Like we were talking about earlier, it's just they needed to get those ultimates off at the right time.
They definitely tried to do that, but Miami kind of called Boise State's bluff first there, shattering first, and that was able to stop them, but that's a great pin, and the Deadeye from Plato taking out 3 of Miami. Now the Broncos still have their work cut out for them. They're going to have to push as far as they can on just a measly minute.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, if they can just get those pushes set up more effectively this time, and Miami isn't able to set up against them, or they can just shake them up, they'll definitely be able to do it.
I do believe I heard a Junkrat being brought out there, so yeah, I thought that was a seagull at first. I was wondering, I don't know. I guess Venice is close enough to the ocean. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but
I mean, hey, we get seagulls here in Idaho sometimes. You never know.
We do. Yeah, pretty far inland, but it makes a lot more sense when you know it's Junkrat.
Looks like the camera's setting up while we're waiting.
Yeah. This one thing, production loves showing off there.
Oh, yeah.
Their ability to just swivel swoop in and out of windows. Now we head into overtime with the Broncos being the first to push. They have only 1 minute. Question is, how fast can they win this fight? 2 Maywalls are going to head up to split up the teams, and the Immortality Field is going to be thrown down. Both of them are taken out, but right now for the Broncos, they are not finding what they want. 4 eliminations for Miami, only 1 for Boise State, and they have to reset.
Yeah, no, at first it looked like it would be a solid setup there with Miami, Ohio kind of stuck underneath Boise State because they had the high ground, but just as soon as they tried pushing them anymore, they were able to get that split off and just make it really hard. But now, with the Maywall going up, they were able to get a solid push forward and actually start moving the payload.
Yeah, it seems Boise State really isn't interested on winning the first fight on the payload. They realize that they need to make some space for themselves and get any sort of meters in this push on to overtime. In the final 10 seconds, they're going to get even more push forward here if they get the fight. Both amplification makers are going to be thrown up, but they're going to be walled off. So keeping both teams at bay until those barriers wear off.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time as they're trying to push forward again, but Miami has a very solid hold on this spot right now as the Deadeye goes off from Plato, but doesn't really seem to connect with anyone because another Maywall went up. They just need to keep pushing forward, but it looks like Miami had them split up.
Bonesaw and Matt Merck are going to be each getting a pick for their team. Matt Merck opening up just a little bit. Look at that self-destruct to dodge. That is insane, to dodge the Reinhardt charge. Matt Merck still able to pick up Bonesaw, though he is low on health and is going to get finished off. Boise State is trading the limbs back and forth, but I do not know if they have the presence to keep on. They only have Plato and Goblin left. Kel is rushing in to try to get on this point and just barely is able to touch it. Goblin is able to take out Leaf. This could be it, and the Broncos manage to survive and get even more push on that payload. They also have some ultimates that are just coming on a line. Looks like Kabuga threw out the Shatter. Didn't do much to stop the Broncos. That self-destruct thrown out by Kel is going to bring the Broncos even more time. And now Matt Merck, unfortunately, he isn't going to have his Shatter anymore, so he's going to have to face up against CGS, who just takes him down. But hey, you know, it didn't quite look like the Broncos were going to push forward, but they still found a way to get a few extra meters, which could be all the difference.
You never know, yeah. Sometimes it's just important to scrape as much as you can out of there, and they were able to get even just a little bit extra, and that might be what they need as long as they can shore up their defenses here for this next round.
Well, it's 2 minutes, 25 seconds. That's a good number of team fights that Boise State has to be perfect at. Now, last time they were defending, they pulled out the Far Mercy. Do you think they do it again in overtime, or is Boise State going to try something else?
I don't know. It worked out really well for them in the first little altercation area, but as soon as they got past that area, they were just getting steamrolled every time. So I think it really just depends on whether or not they can get that setup done as effectively as they did before without Miami countering them.
Oh, I do see Avara outlined for the Broncos. I'm going to go back to what worked for them. Also, very crucial thing here is that just that initial bridge here. Miami has to be cognizant of where they push because Goblin is just going to be waiting with those environmentals.
Oh, yeah. Not only that, but Matt Merck apparently doing the 1v1 trade-offs every now and then. You just never know where the angle might arise that a boot will get off.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, it looks like they're going to be going for a little bit more long range. Plato swapped over to the Ash. It's the first time we have seen Ash, and we're going to also see Farah just pelting them down with damage from behind. It's already off to a great start for the Broncos. And look at that swap being brought out by Miami. They're just going to try to take them right out of the air. They have to be careful, Boise State, of where they poke out their heads and the sidelines. Goblin just having fun right now with the boosted damage. There is going to be a flank brought out from Miami. Will it be successful?
I think it just depends. Well, looks like so far not really, and they've kind of given up and going back to pushing the middle point. With Boise State still holding that high ground, just able to wail on them from above, with Kell just getting tons of shots and just getting off a ton of abilities, which are really effective right now, it looks like, in keeping them from moving too much farther.
Now the Broncos have won another fight and burned a whole minute off of the timer. So they've got probably at least 2 team fights more left. But Goblin is holding strong on this Far Mercy. Miami, Ohio seems to want to try to take a flank route besides the initial mid, because going up mid ultimately might result in situations like that. I don't know. That hold had me a little excited, but Matt Merck got taken down at the beginning. Goblin is still trying to fight, does eliminate Shocker. And a res onto Matt Merck means Broncos hold strong again, although CGS, that's Goblin's Achilles heel right there.
Oh yeah, totally. And now with Goblin out, they've lost their aerial support, so we'll see if they can pull back. Especially with Matt Merck being eliminated again, they've got only 1 tank on.
Well, and when you've
standby.
got Bob, the best character in the game, out there with your back, that's going to help the Broncos as well. Now just 35 seconds left.
And barely any space left to keep them back from, too. As Cassidy's just trying to go for a little push there, too, while they're not paying attention.
Question is, do they walk right into the Gravitics that Kell is holding?
No, Kell is holding a
He doesn't
very
even need to
effective
use
point.
it.
Now he's just pushing
Now
in.
he uses it, and that gets a lot of them.
With a solid play right there, too. They're just keeping them right there where Boise State wants them, in that little hallway where they can just keep picking them off with Farah and Kell.
And look at that shield was very clear for Kell, as well as that immortality field to last them through that blizzard. Plato already picking up a double accretion. Also was going to play into a double for Kell. Boise State had quite an overtime, and the defense that you want to start the season out with to get themselves the victory. Whew!
Yeah, that was an interesting final push there. When we saw them like in the back, I was a little concerned because I was like, that's a lot of space to give up. But that ended up playing in their favor because they were able to just pick them off from the back. And then as soon as they got down there just was nothing they could do to deal with everyone who was above them, just firing off their abilities.
The first play of the game is Plato. This Deadeye helped turn things around for the Broncos at the last moment. They did not have any time left to spare. They would not have gone to overtime had they not have gotten that fight. So great job for Plato. Well, Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast talent. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. So now the Broncos are going to find themselves at match point, can just prepare to close things out in short order. Do you have any final thoughts on that first fight?
I think overall that was just an interesting game because both teams played very similarly with just very aggressive and strong attack, but then the defense just slowly crumbling as we went farther in. And I think it just comes down to whether or not the teams, I guess, continue to play similarly.
Yeah, it seems once CGS on Cassidy was able to dislodge that Pharmacy, then Miami, Ohio just charged right to the point.
Oh yeah, they were able to just steamroll right through them to the end there, just shaking up every setup they had. But luckily, Boise State was able to counter with some just quick changes, especially in that last little bit there final area where they had barely like a couple feet to push forward, and they were just able to wail on them and get just a lot of solid plays, not allowing Miami to set up themselves.
All right, keeping in mind that this could be a 2-0 if Boise State wins. That means we're either going to see Eichenwald or Nepal, I believe. If you had to choose one or the other, which one would you want?
I prefer Eichenwald overall. It's just a little bit easier to figure out what's going on, and just overall the way the map is set up, it's just, I prefer it for a lot of just different characters.
All right, I'm going to go for Control then. I do believe it was Nepal, but if it's any other state, we can actually bring up the rules. I do believe we have the rules that showed us what the predetermined 3 stages were going to be. It's just the basic rules of the game graphic that we have, but sometimes I've asked for things from production and I just don't get them. So it all depends. But we'll find out soon enough what we are playing on.
Oh, yeah, totally. It'll be a very interesting just to see how it goes depending either map. They both can shake up teams in just different ways depending on how you pick, and you have to be really careful with how you set up on them.
Sure. That is going to be Nepal. Okay. I was just preferring this just because it kind of breaks up the gameplay just a little bit, where we're not pushing a payload all the way tonight.
That's true. This map is kind of fun, though it can be really interesting actually to see how people choose to try and push through into the main area once they've actually managed to take control.
All right, we're getting to the second match of Boise State versus Miami, Ohio in the huge 2022 Invitational. Boise State currently in the online qualifiers part, wanting to punch their ticket to Harrisburg and travel in person to the finals. Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to get the victory? Here we go. Matt Berg not wasting any time in getting to the point.
Yeah, just trying to get there as fast as possible to hopefully prevent them from pushing too aggressively, though Miami chose to push more as a team overall, and so we'll see if that benefits them.
Well, there's the first boop by Bagel, loving to be on that Lucio, so watch out for him on that. That is his main. That is what he is known for. Is already just that one boop is going to force Miami back to the choke point. Bagel's going to claim the point for Boise State with the help of Kel. Actually, he's going to hold down the point now as Bagel moves up to support his team.
Miami is pushing back in for a second time, going to meet Boise State just right there and see if they can push in. Their Reinhardt had to back off, so we'll see if they can actually manage to get past, as Matt Merck is just like pushing hard right against them too, and they move back onto the point as Boise State has to try and get them off or just take it back from them.
Plato taking Lieb out of their mech, but one boop deserves another as Matt Merck is going to find himself eliminated. Chosen and Plato are trying to turn this fight back into the Broncos' favor. Kabunga eliminated. The tank down for Miami. CGS also playing on the point. Can they do it? A double, a triple from Maxwell is going to take the point for the Broncos. They managed to hold on and are looking good as they pass 40.
Yeah, that was a solid play there. Maxwell was able to get just some solid pushes, especially with Bonesaw being so aggressive with their walls and just breaking up the teams consistently. We'll see if they can do that and keep it up again.
Boise State now sitting on a bunch of ultimates that they can use. They're going to use the first one here. The Amp Matrix push even more damage onto Miami. Maxwell already eliminating Bonesaw. And Boise State now up in a 6v5. Are they going to use another ultimate to keep the cavalcade going? Miami, Ohio trying to drop down to the side. Both Ryans are going to rush into each other, but Kabunga eliminated by the Deadeye. And now CGS is in a bad position here. It's just going to find himself on the receiving end of a rocket-propelled hammer. And Boise State now closing in on 80%.
Yeah, and they're going to move back up to confront them once again before they can get to the point, as Matt Merck just goes in swinging, and Maxwell pulls out the Blizzard, hopefully being able to freeze a few of them and get them off, which looks like they're trying to go after Kabunga.
Kabunga already frozen, gets charged into by Matt Merck. And basically a wall is going to go up. They want to focus down the other tank for Miami. Lieb Manages to survive and get away from that one. Self-destruct just kind of thrown out to the point at the last moment to claim it. I suppose. You never know if they're going to try to flank.
Might as well.
As well. All right. Broncos now just need one more victory, and they will have 2-0, beating Miami, Ohio, putting themselves in a better position to move on to the in-person finals of HughFest. It's going to be top 8 teams moving on. So Broncos have to win a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll see if they end up changing any of their characters out for this one. I think the Mercies have been really strong, so we'll see if they stick to that.
Another thing that we see brought out here a lot is the Wrecking Ball, and Matt Merck is really good on Wrecking Ball, but we haven't seen any Wrecking Ball tonight. I don't think.
Maybe we'll get the chance to see him in action with that, but it doesn't look like it so far.
No, just staying on the classic Reinhardt. They can do a lot. That poor Diva. I mean, not poor for Boise State. They love what's happening. And interesting pick here on the Symmetra, kind of taking Boise State off guard and doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, it looks like Boise State also changed to Symmetra, but it didn't work out as well for them because Plato just got immediately annihilated there. And Boise State's going to have to recover a little bit before they can actually push up again.
He's going to have to face up against Libe. It's going to fall back down to ground level. They're just going to get walled off there as Miami buys a little bit more time for themselves. Boise State now onto the point, trying to split them up with the wall. The charge, well, you know, we just weren't watching that one. Let's try again here. And already, look at that. That Baptiste facing a lot of damage pressure for Kel, but Kel kind of overextends there. He gets mowed down by Miami with a quick rotation. Kabunga also throwing out the shatter. And Boise State, I mean, the key thing is at least they managed to take the point away from Miami. They're getting charged right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, there is a Symmetra portal there that's definitely not going to help them very much there as they're trying to push. But it does seem like they're still effectively keeping them off the point as they're just trying to get back that momentum that they had before.
I mean, look at how much Maxwell's being uncontested on the point right now. He just basically kept shooting them in the backs. And when they turned around, he just walled them off. It's not going to be enough for Boise State to hold the point, but it is enough for them to go past Miami in their charge.
Yeah, and the most important thing, obviously, is stalling as much time as you can before they get the chance to capture the point while you reset, which looks like Boise State is going to be able to push in soon as Miami is setting up, getting ready for them to go.
Boise State has a whole lot that they can use right now. 4 blue check marks in their arsenal. What will they use first is the question. First thing used is going to be the Amp Matrix thrown down by Shocker. Boise State is just going to kind of wait that out. Use the sidelines to their advantage before they push onto the point.
Yeah, and of course we got to watch out for Miami's too as they send out the self-destruct to try and get someone, but luckily Boise State was able to effectively get away from that as they push onto the point using their own damage amplification.
Great job by the Broncos. One after the other falls from Miami, Ohio. Boise State used about half of what they had there in terms of ultimates. They're still sitting on this self-destruct. Most importantly, the sound barrier here, Thane. I think that is such a great counter to any of the CC that Miami, Ohio is going to have here. Basically, it can help Boise State survive through that initial wave, live to fight another day, and get back in the lead in terms of overall points.
Absolutely. They just got to be careful of Bonesaw with their wall, because if that gets in the way, they might be unable to actually effectively protect each other, even with the sound barrier up. But so far, they're trying to push from the side, and it's not going great just yet.
Wall thrown up. A lot of damage that the Broncos are trying to push on. Isn't going to go through, although, to be fair, they actually haven't used their self-destruct at all. They're going to be used. Look at that move there. Throwing Boise State off of the point. CGS having a field day along with Kabunga, getting a double and forcing the Broncos. That is, in fact, a full team wipe for Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, Boise State is going to have to reset and recover quickly so that way they can effectively get back on that point with only 10% left for Miami, Ohio before they win this round.
Now this could be the blizzard that helps save the Broncos here because Maxwell has just charged it up. Also, Photon Barrier immediately going to be used by Plato along with the blizzard. Miami, Ohio, Libe is going to get frozen in that. Dex taken out of their mech and eliminated. Boise State makes their way back onto the point of the most crucial moment at 99% for Miami, Ohio. It's taken back in favor of the Broncos. Now they just got to hold it.
With 20% left for them and 1% left for Miami, Ohio, it'll be interesting to see how this next couple fights go and whether or not Boise State can push them back effectively enough before it hits.
Watch out here because the Broncos are not going to have the ultimate advantage by any stretch of the imagination here. So this is going to already be a fight not quite in their favor. Now the overtime starts. Both teams at 99-99. Libe throws out the self-destruct. Boise State has to survive through this. Matt Merck is caught up in it, and that is not a good sign for the Broncos. Can they recover? Get a pick for themselves. Look at Cal, already so close on this self-destruct, but he gets frozen. He is going to be saved by the Immortality Field and go down to Pilot Diva. Now Plato gets one pick, but it's not enough to answer Cal and Plato being eliminated.
Yeah, and now with CGI.
Oh, Matt Merck!
Oh, no!
Oh, that was close. That was a valiant effort. Alrighty. Miami, Ohio, not going to let it go too easily here. We move on to the third and final stage on the ball.
Yeah.
Let's just take a replay here to see what crucially happened. You can see Kel got taken out right before he was able to get his self-destruct. Matt Merck throwed out a kind of a surprise shatter and immediately used that to get a double onto Miami. We thought things might turn around, but they didn't. So now Boise State has to fight one more game.
Yeah, with both teams setting up, I wonder if there's going to be any changes for this area of the map. It's a little bit more enclosed. They definitely have to be careful of those May walls that might go up and split up the teams that have just been so nasty throughout all of the altercations so far.
Both teams just go charging to the point as fast as they can and are now going to meet on it. Boise State is able to set up their turrets, very crucially though. Now if Miami, Ohio rounds that corner, they are going to be met with a car wash of pain. They're going to go full arena around the Rosie. Matt Merck, look how fast he charged up his shatter. Miami just walked into that. They're going to be saved with the Immortality Field, but still, one pick for Boise State. That's going to start off this fight for them in the right direction.
Yeah, and with so many of their players that are slowly losing health, they're not able to keep up as Boise State is just pushing them out farther and farther until they have to just, they aren't even going to be able to do anything until they reset. As Boise State still aggressively pushes forward, Matt Merck swinging, just keeping them back.
This is such a huge amount of space the Broncos are making here. By throwing up walls, they were just in hot pursuit of any member of Miami, Ohio. I don't know what the Broncos had for a snack between matches here, but they are on fire.
Totally, especially with Maxwell just getting off good picks with those walls there, and the Baptiste keeping everyone healed up, and of course Matt Merck and Kell just pushing them further and further.
Boise State looks like it's going to get past at least 50% here. Matt Merck, he's in hunt mode right now. He's trying to figure out where are they going to push forward here so that I can surprise them with this shatter. He's going to find the drop on them, is on the high ground. Photon Barrier thrown out as well as the May Wall. Only one ultimate being used for Miami, Ohio, where Boise State commits two. It's going to force Miami, Ohio to push forward much farther right into Matt Merck's shatter, which eliminates Kabunga. Bonesaw is the next to fall to that flame strike. And Boise State has turned this fight around despite the initial pick onto them. They are going past 75%, so they are now in final fight territory as we get past 80% on charge.
Yeah, especially now with Miami, Ohio being unable to actually get on the point with just such the team, like good team plays from Boise State, as well as just the solid tank play that we've been seeing. We'll see if they can get another push. From this side, they tried it before, but they might be able to do it this time, especially now without the shatter. And
that's a bit of an unfortunate self-destruct there. Doesn't look like it just stayed in place. Wasn't able to be thrown onto the point like I assume it was intended to do. Boise State is just going to capitalize on that, getting 3 picks. It's now 6-3. Boise State maintaining strong on the point. And I suppose Miami, Ohio wanted to make it a little bit of a fight, but Boise State just came alive in the final moments, pushed it into their favor, and they get the win. They are happy and hollering right now. Maxwell is going to be credited with the play of the game to end things right now. Just key right-clicking skills.
Ooh, that was a nasty wall. Just blocked in 2 of them, making them easy prey for Maxwell there after he got the May out of the way, too.
Well, congratulations. Boise State is the winner of this particular match of the 2022 Invitational. Not the 2022 Invitational. They got a long ways to go before that one. But a good start for them nonetheless in the first tournament of the season. Well, again, Boise State Esports is always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast. Top talent along with good grades and eligibility can earn scholarships as well. Sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. Well, now, as we look back at everything that has happened in this match, we give our predictions for the player of the game. And it would be quite a statement for you here casting for the first time. We actually are going to have one more, actually. So we're going to hold off on that. We're going to hold off on that prediction. So you get to think a little bit more and hopefully not tarnish your name quite as fast, because we have had a lot. I know I've had a lot of predictions that haven't gone my way. But we'll have to see how it goes. Right now, we're going to take a short break and be back with more Boise State Esports. You are not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned for more Overwatch after this.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Protecting your customer journey from fraud is critical. According to industry analysts, Count's AI-driven platform is the leading solution. From account login to digital payments, Count is recognized for both its customer impact and technology excellence. Learn more at Count.com.
Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're watching our continuing coverage of the huge 2022 Invitational in Overwatch right now, and Boise State has already gotten a victory. Their first victory in the qualifying rounds against Miami, Ohio. Now they are going up against George Mason University to see if they can go 2-0 and keep on their way to getting to the grand finals. I'm your host, Jacob Jim Palmer, joined by another new face, Kendall Blue Conklin. It's great to have you joining us here, and this is going to be fun. You were talking to me kind of before the broadcast started just about your history with Overwatch.
Yeah, I've only played Overwatch casually, you know.
Sure.
Been playing with some friends. I was more of a Paladins gal.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, we've got to talk some more after the broadcast,
Oh
okay?
my gosh. Okay, yes, sounds good. But yeah, no,
I've just got to say, I've got Talus as my phone wallpaper. So it's like...
I love you so much.
Okay,
I
we're
love you.
great.
Okay, awesome.
But here we're talking about Overwatch. Let's not talk too much about the competition.
The competition.
Let's get to the key thing. You were watching Boise State play against Miami, Ohio. Very exciting game. What stood out most to you about the Broncos there?
I was just so impressed by, I know it's going to sound so basic, but just the gameplay and how coordinated everybody was, especially as someone who, you know, plays very casually.
Sure.
It's really weird seeing people actually, like, coordinate with their team. And, you know, I was hearing everybody while I was over in the back. I'm hearing everybody cheering each other on. And, you know, I just loved everyone kind of vibing with each other and all of that.
I don't blame you. Don't blame you for playing casually. You know, you always want to be in a position where you still enjoy playing the game.
Exactly,
is the thing.
exactly.
But the Broncos, yeah, they had such a competitive match against the Miami. Let's remind everyone how the night is going to work out with the rules that are before us. It's the 2022 Hue Invitational 6 versus 6 competitive best of 3, with the stages being Control, Hybrid, and Escort, all predetermined. And now we move on to what the Broncos really need to take into account, and those are Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch. And Doc keeps telling us, never take a fair fight. And that means to take fights in unexpected places when they are unprepared. And of course, tempo, tempo, tempo. It's Doc's Keys to the Game, brought to us by Drop In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. All right, we're going to head into our matchup here. Boise State versus George Mason. The Broncos versus the Patriots right now, though. This is not a professional football game. This is collegiate esports. We'll see if the Broncos can get their second win tonight in Overwatch. So we can see the Broncos getting ready to join in right now. Again, I said this is the Hue Online qualifiers, and this is such an intense tournament because whoever gets the victory here, or whoever is kind of the top 8 teams, moves on to in-person finals in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which it's always great when you get to travel in a program like this.
Oh, that'll be so much fun, especially for, you know, the whole team going together and doing all that fun stuff. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, you're always a bit envious as production that they get to travel everywhere, but it'll be well worth it. But here we go. And remember talking to Doc a little bit earlier for this season, you know, this is a great opportunity, especially, you know, everyone's kind of holding off until Overwatch 2 releases, you know, or a few months on. This is just kind of a great tournament to see where the Broncos stand, because they're going up against top talent here. We're going to get ready to head up against George Mason University. We don't quite know which team is which right now, but it looks like Boise State is going to be starting off where they started off last time, on a Far Mercy defense. We'll see if George Mason falls just as victim to it as Miami, Ohio did. Right now, Goblin is pelting a whole lot of damage down. I saw one of the Patriots kind of head off to the side there, maybe doing a bit of a scouting flank, but for now, Boise State is just, it looks like they're going to find out that scout. Trace is going to be sent back to start, and Boise State starting with a good defense.
Oh yeah, that Bear is just shooting right. She is definitely pre-firing into those corners, making sure that no one can come out from spawn. As you can see, she's kind of taking pot shots down into the cover. And yeah.
I mean, it's always nice when you have it just in a way of, you know, I don't have to aim exactly, but I know you being in such close quarters, you're going to get some damage right now.
Exactly.
There you go. Goblin also with an environmental. We saw Goblin using that to great effect last time, too. It's always nice when you can just get that elimination for free and send them into the drink.
Oh, yeah. Very easy. Got our, you know, okay.
Bagel just kind of flying around right now, supporting Goblin. Not quite going to be making the plays he wants to, but he makes great plays on Lucy. We're actually going to have a Far Mercy battle right here. Okay, I'm going to call it right now. Make a prediction. Does one of them take the other out of the sky? It's hard to do, but do they do it?
I would so hope so. That would be so awesome if we're actually able to see it.
Well, that's kind of an anticlimactic end to that one. This Goblin is just going to fall right into the river. But the rest of the Broncos did a good enough job that they're still going to be able to hold.
Yeah, and they also got that diva right into the river. I don't know if you saw that, but kind of took her over there. And she kind of fell off, but, you know, kind of reminds me of last game a little bit.
Yeah, Boise State loves their environmentals.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
Now as we're looking at ultimates that Boise State could use here, they're going to be using that first one, Gravitic. Don't know how much they necessarily caught up in there. It looks like all they're going to pick up for their troubles is that Immortality Field. Mattmark also eliminating their diva. Thick man is going to get hit with a very thick sleeping dart right now and just get hit right now and going to be kept off of the point. Boise State still doing a great job. Of course, Bob, best player in the game, is going to come out to defend for the Broncos.
Oh, look at him. Oh, no, and he's down. No. So sorry, Bob.
We got to get revenge now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's just kind of sitting back, keeping it safe, making sure to keep close to cover so she doesn't get hit, which is smart, throwing out her flashes.
Grecian is going to be thrown out to take out that Tracer. Boise State is making a little bit of space for George Mason right now, but George Mason is only going to have 1 minute left to claim this first checkpoint. So even if Boise State loses this first fight, they should have enough to regroup. Cal's also sitting on his ultimate, but is also taking a lot of damage. So yeah, Boise State just looks like they're going to go for a soft reset here and heal up.
Oh yeah, just waiting for the full team to, you know, come back and join together so, you know, it's not going in one by one getting murdered.
Yeah, they definitely don't want that situation. Kel is still waiting for just the right moment to use this. Whole hog is going to hook the diva, though. That's not quite the squishy you were looking for, so he's just going to go in whole hog now and take out that Mercy. Beautiful play. From all the ways away, that diva just barely escaping. Look at how little health that diva has.
Wow, that hog is really, I mean, I've been noticing that this hog can hit almost every single one of his hooks, which is just amazing. I don't know if you, I mean, obviously you actually know how hard it is to be able to hit.
It's not as easy as it looks, but Boise State has a way of just making complex gameplay look effortless. There you go. Boise State has already just closed this out and is looking to get to their next game. They're just kind of rolling over right now.
I was just about to say, I'm like, you know, George Mason didn't even get out of their spawn. Barely.
No, barely. I mean, you could technically call this, yeah.
Nothing.
Only 54 meters so far.
Oh my God. They tried their best.
They tried their best.
They tried their best.
That's the thing. So now Boise State moving forward here. What do you most like to see? Like what's your favorite hero to see? Like, what do you most like to see in Overwatch?
I mean, I love Hog, as is. I am a Hog and Diva main.
Okay.
But I know. I've been adventuring a little bit, but I love being able to see good Hog gameplay. You know what I mean? A lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's just left click." No, it is not. It is so much more than that. You have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, having a good Hog and having a good, I actually really liking the Sigma plays too. He's kind of crushing it out there, and I love to see, you know. Sorry, I like my heavy characters.
Yeah. Does
like
that translate over between games? Like, do you play Koa as well? Makoa.
Oh, Makoa. Yeah, sorry. I did not know what you just said.
I was just shortening it. I just want to say no, Makoa.
Yes, no, I love playing Makoa, especially on, oh shoot, I can't think of what the map is. But you know, the hook and everything, trying to use your environment to your advantage, you know, hooking them off edges and everything. Perfect. Seeing that by like playing Hog so much.
Yep, and Boise State will see Kel is going to stay on the Hog here. The only downside is that he doesn't have that much room to work with right now. Boise State might just end it before we can see any huge, amazing plays. That Accretion is already going to land onto this poor Orisa, who just gets focused down by both of Boise State's tanks. That could very well be the end of it before it even starts. Boise State now just with a few meters left before they claim this here.
George Mason is trying to hide from Boise State.
Yeah,
they
that's
are
never
horrified.
Good. No,
they are horrified.
Yeah, once their tank went down, I mean, those squishies just running for cover, and that's going to be it. Boise State claiming that one in very short fashion. Looks like they're going to be moving on pretty darn fast here.
Yeah, towards the end.
I do believe I don't know if you saw that in that footage there. I believe I saw a minion flush from League of Legends, not an Illumination minion. I'm talking League of Legends. We have a bunch of minion flushes in production right now, and Doc just kind of pelts them if he gets too angry at them. You can see him right there. He's having a few words with them. They're winning, but they might just be getting a bit too smart for their own good.
Doc will definitely put him into his place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, towards the end, George Mason was kind of getting a little flustered if you saw that. You know, breaking up a little bit.
But as long as they can stay in good spirits, that is just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Boise State versus George Mason. They only need to win this next round to be able to hopefully go a little farther in their fight. Looks like just a little bit of a fist bump, psyching each other up here. I will say, you know, Doc has an interesting relationship with the Overwatch team. I mean, you know, they're his project, you know, and he gives them encouragement, as we can see right there with that fist bump. But he's also the team I've heard them yell the loudest at. So I don't know if that counts for anything. But sometimes you need someone to get you back in line.
I was just about to say, I'm like, you know, the best coaches actually yell at their team the most. You know what I mean? Make sure that he puts them into their place and, you know.
Throws a minion at them if they need to.
Throws a minion at them, you know, happens sometimes. But,
it just happens.
But then, look, they're doing great. So
they're doing
it's
great.
Doing something.
They do have built-in shields here is the thing, though, so they can just duck behind their monitors.
Very expensive built-in shields.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Thank goodness those minions are made out of foam is all I can say.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder if this video will loop back here so I can see it one more time, because you can just see just getting a little bit airborne there. You can see a projectile.
Right out of the corner.
Right out of the corner. It's in the he aimed it at the person sitting in the rightmost seat. So bonus points to production if we can see that again, because that was just beautiful. But now as we see what's being lined up now, last time we just saw us go from Rialto on to Nepal, so now we go on to a control match. And what do you generally prefer more? Do you like control points more as trying to hold them, or are you more of a payload pusher?
I am definitely more of a control point. I don't know what it is about payloads. I just have a hard time with them. So controlling the point's a lot easier. You know, always have a beefy character right on the point, you know, making sure that everything is okay while you can go out and, you know, be a little bit. That's the thing, is you could be super aggressive on control points. So I do like it. It is a lot of fun, and especially if we are playing Nepal. That is a great map, and I absolutely love it.
And Nepal, definitely a classic. And we were talking about environmentals earlier. Boise State has a lot of opportunities on Nepal, especially Sanctum.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's definitely been multiple times where I've been hooked off the point.
Oh, yeah, hooked off the point. But also, you're talking earlier, Bagel on Lucio.
Oh,
definitely a key play.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Was I triggering some memories rather best not left conjured up?
Yep, exactly. It was you know, I was back there in production, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what in the heck is going on? And I was kind of like biting my nails the whole time. I'm like, so yeah, fun time.
Well, we'll see if Boise State can indeed have a fun time here, getting another win in the Hue Online qualifiers. We're just waiting for the next match to be loaded in for us to work our way to game point here, or match point for the Broncos. So it looks like they're setting up. It looks like we're waiting for, I believe that was Gob who went off and did, I don't know, something. Yeah, I'm just going. Okay. There is a good snack bar here, I will say. So maybe just trying to get that rejuvenation. You might see him walk across the screen here too. So if you see Goblin walking left to right here, you know that we are close again to loading in. And this is just an overview here of Nepal, of all the various stages here with Sanctum that we were talking about. Lots of opportunities for environmentals here. And maybe not so many on this stage, but still, Boise State just looking like they're in the mood to close the night early, get that 2-0 win. There's Goblin right there. Okay, this might, in fact, be the video loop back. So if we see, they cut away. Thank you for destroying my dreams, production. They can always be counted on them then. Now, we love production. Thank you. You are the wind beneath our wings. So thank you very much. Okay. Here we go. Boise State already making the way up to they're already to 50%.
What the heck is going on? Oh my god. That diva right there. Did you see her kind of like skitter a little bit? She's
Yeah,
like,
I know. Oh, Boise State is so sweaty here on the peaks there. They're just, so they're going to drop down. The problem is Boise State might be holding a surprise for them. Maybe a shatter, and he's going to bring that out, as well as the hack of four-person EMP on to Boise State. Sombra is going to be heading down, and overall, Boise State look like they're just going to cruise to a victory here. I'm only going to cast one fight here, and Broncos already win.
I was just about to say, I'm like, these games are going quite fast, you know. They're pushing pretty far from the point, so obviously you can tell how confident they are in their ability.
Yeah. Well, one final charge onto the point from George Mason. Boise State actually quite a bit of picks is going to be held against them. They have plenty of time to recover now, so it looks like they're just probably going to regroup. They have 3 ultimates to use. So at this point, just make sure you can fight as a team and then head back onto the point. Boise State is doing that right now, throwing out that blizzard. George Mason caught up in it. Actually, no, it looks like they went out of the way, but they're still going to face a lot of damage.
Yeah, I've always liked the Sombra pick on this map, especially since there's so many areas where you're able to place up her turrets, and she does get very annoying after a while. But
Oh yeah. any character with that teleport away. Again, we're talking about Talisman here, you know.
Of course.
I was thrilled when I heard about the Sombra rework in Overwatch 2. It's like, oh, you deal more damage to them when you hack them? You mean they made Sombra more like Talus? I am so thrilled. This is the best. This is the best day of my life. And like when I was playing Sombra in Overwatch 2 beta, it was like coming home. I was like, oh, I remember this gameplay. I love this.
So I want you to explain to me, because I actually haven't seen any Overwatch 2 gameplay. How is it different from the original Overwatch?
It's 5v5, so basically they've just removed one tank role. So it means your supports can be a lot more exposed. You need to play more in line with the map geometry. Make sure you're not in quite as many dangerous sight lines. And of course, Push is replacing Assault, but we're not even seeing that this tournament so far. We are just 3v3. So here we go. Boise State moving on against George Mason University, getting the first control of the point.
Oh yeah, no, they are, sorry. They're really hanging on to that point right there. I mean, we got, 3 champions on there, all fighting this Ryan that's just trying his best to, he's pushed up into the corner from that May ice wall.
Yeah, and that Sombra from Plato just had the damage charge up, full blast. George Mason struggling to get back on the point. Looks like Madmark is just kind of toying with them right now.
For sure.
Oh, and they walk right in and get walled off. That is so dirty.
God. Oh my god. The May plays for the past 2 games have been absolutely insane. Sorry, I'm meaning this game, and they're,
No, I get what you're saying.
What
Boise State, yeah, the wall and maul strategy, as the Broncos refer to it. I mean, they are so good at these brawly comps here, and throwing out those May walls and then just letting Matt Merck on Reinhardt just swing his hammer back and forth. It is quite insane what they're able to do.
I absolutely love seeing that. I literally cannot get over these May plays. They're perfect at their positioning, and they always catch at least one on the opposite side of the wall where they could just wail on them, and there you go. One's down, everyone can focus on the next person. And I've also noticed that a lot what the Broncos like to do is they love to focus just one person.
Yes.
So that way that they can go from one to the other, and, they can shred health really quick instead of having, multiple people shooting up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Remember how I said Overwatch is the only team I've heard Doc yell at? Well, that's what he was yelling at them at, focusing targets, making sure you have target prioritization, calling out low health heroes, just getting your squishies working together as a team. Overwatch is by far the loudest game here in the esports arena. They have the most call-outs. They yell them out the loudest, and you can tell what the fruits of that are right here. Is Boise State just playing as such a good? And again, another main wall. You were saying.
Oh my God, I absolutely love it. I love watching her. It's so funny because since I've played casually, I've never focused on May at all. So seeing her actually doing something is really nice to see.
It's kind of another level you got to think on, too, because you got in the back of their mind, okay, where's the May wall going to pop out? How's that going to is the other team positioning themselves to be vulnerable to it?
Exactly.
It's just that little thing that's always in the back of your mind. And now the Broncos, they just close that out 2-0. Plato is going to get the play of the game. As some Metro here, I'm curious as to what that was. It's just, you know what? Sometimes you just got to hold down left mouse button to win.
Sometimes it just happens. I mean, her and Diva alike, it's just kind of left mouse.
Yep. Again, I'm just saying, Vivian, left mouse button to win.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Don't
even talk to me.
Yep.
Don't
Okay.
even talk to me.
All righty, yeah. Well, maybe we can move on to something a little bit more lighthearted indeed, because turns out we have one more bonus game that it looks like Boise State is going to be playing against George Mason. So just a little bit of a for fun here. I wonder if this is looping back. I hope beyond anything else that this video loops back and I can once again see Doc pelting. I believe that's Matt Merck. That's Matt Merck sitting on the edge there, sitting, and he got a. I'm gonna have to ask Doc. By the way, for those of you watching right now, we'll have an interview with Doc Haskell, head Boise State esports coach, afterwards. So if you're wondering, I'm gonna have to ask him that question of why'd you throw the minion at Matt Merck?
Why would you do that?
Why? It's a good reason too. I mean, sometimes this Overwatch team they can get a bit cheeky if they're playing good.
Yeah, just a little bit. I've been noticing that they get very confident in their.
They do.
But the thing is that I've realized that they haven't gotten too overconfident to where they start messing up. You know what I mean? Like, they keep their gameplay very consistent throughout. I've never, there's very little times where they, drop in their abilities and everything. So, yeah. Yeah,
that was kind of another thing Doc was talking about. We're at the beginning of the semester, so Doc has a lot of conversations with students, and one of the things he's been talking about with a lot of students is you can have a team of a lot of people who are like super talented, but if they're not playing well together as a team, if they don't work together as a unit, then they're going to underperform. And there's a lot of teams that Doc has seen that just, all the players are super talented, but they just completely underperform as a team by not having the communication and the good relationships necessary.
Exactly. To be able to have a strong team, you definitely need those relationships between the players in and out of the game. So.
All right. Boise State versus George Mason. We're going to head into Eichenwald just as a quick for a fun stage. I believe here, I would think Boise State, if they're just going for fun here, then they would let George Mason attack first. Like, just see how far they can go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I actually really like this map specifically because of all the choke points in it. I have a fun time really, I just love this map. This one's a fun one.
Wrecking Ball is going to just thunder right out of the spawn. And actually, it's Boise State attacking first. They're going to be in red, so it looks like we have a bit of a swap in terms of sides that everyone's playing on. And this is going to be the time to watch Matt Merck because Wrecking Ball is his main. He is insane on Wrecking Ball. He can just go up, down, all around, arena around the Rosie, and they all fall down. I mean, that's what happens when Matt Merck plays.
On last map on Nepal, that would have been a good play to have a Wrecking Ball. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Especially.
But maybe he was put in Rhine prison. Sometimes you got to serve your time.
Exactly. No, I totally know what you mean.
Okay, here goes. Vic is actually going to be able to get the first pick onto Maxwell. Plato also falling. Boise State is not going to take this in their first push. George Mason having a good defense to start things off. Okay.
Yeah, no, they're doing a good job holding them off, making sure that they don't get past that first choke point there. We've had a couple advances up, but they've been keeping it pretty strong.
George Mason. Also, the first time we're seeing Hanzo be brought out here, too.
Also Echo. I don't remember seeing Echo in the past couple of games.
No, and Maxwell, Maxwell's pretty good on Echo. It's kind of, it's not necessarily It's not necessarily Gob on Far Mercy, but Echo can do a lot of damage in her own right, even if she doesn't have the Mercy pocket. Well, just like that, we're just going to see a team-wide Boise State claiming the point.
There you go. Yeah, just easy as that, you know? Insane, as Boise State is.
We move forward here. We can just take a quick look at the ultimate stage. Boise State, Matt Burke is, going to be sitting on this minefield, and it's not a surprise for him. Hey, look at this flank here by the Brig. Is the Brig just out by herself flanking? I mean, Lyric is having way too much fun here. You got to shut down this Brig.
Oh boy, yeah, that was, especially going up there, you know, the big long flank without any support, really. I mean, there was a couple people coming up the other side, but I loved the pinch, you know what I mean?
Yes, that just...
There you go.
Okay.
Easy. It's easy as that.
Wow. Okay, the Broncos just not letting... Okay, the real thing is here, do they go for 3 in a row? Do you think they get another team? I'm not... You can only choose yes or no here. You're predicting yes or no. Do they get 3 in a row?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see if they get the ace or not. Matt Burke is just waiting right now. Look at that for minutes. Look how many people are in the air, and Matt Burke just slams into them. What is going on here?
Oh my God. Wow, that 3K. Oh my God. Insane. Absolutely insane.
You know,
that was the most exciting play of this game so far.
The game isn't technically going to credit it to them, but I'm going to say you won that prediction there. I'm going to say that was indeed everyone falling again from George Mason. And that is a dragon strike with no purpose.
Nope. That was a just kind of predict and go, you know what I mean? Maybe an accidental ult. You know, we do that once in a while.
Yeah, everyone gets that fat finger every now and then.
For sure.
Boise State now just moving in, showing no signs of stop, and look at how Matt Merck just effortlessly charges into them and slams down. He is so good on Wrecking Ball. It is insane. They're not even being allowed to move out of their spawn, Boise State.
I was just about to say, like, I love him as Ryan. I absolutely adore him as Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
I love it because he waits till everyone clumps together on the opposite team and then goes whoop, right down. And usually ends up getting a kill or two, so
yeah, I mean, he doesn't even need the DPS to back him up. He's just good. And again, there's another one.
Wow.
Another full team kill. What a way to end it.
Did we expect any less from Boise State?
Probably didn't. I mean, I appreciate, you got to hand it to George Mason agreeing to do this extra match here, too. I mean, that's just great sportsmanship. And again, why not take that opportunity? Because every fight George Mason takes here, or any team, when Boise State is going up against a tough team, getting more of those VOD reviews, getting more stuff to review, and applying yourself to get better.
Exactly. You need the practice, you need the different levels of play, you know what I mean? To be able to be a good team, you need to play teams that are, a lot better than you and teams that are worse than you, teams that are equally, you have to get the whole sphere, you know what I mean?
Well, Boise State, now they just need to hold on defense, and we will have the conclusion of this match. Remember, they've already won. Boise State is already 2-0 in both the matches they played tonight. Looking good in the Hue Overwatch qualifiers. We're just going to see one more match for fun. Question is, can George Mason get a tick? Okay, you predicted well before. I'm going to say, does George Mason claim the first point? Do they actually manage to win a fight and get the first point, yes or no?
I really don't think so. I think Boise State is on this, winning high right now that they're not going to let it go.
Okay, we'll see if Boise State can get that full sweep. As the door's ready to open up, George Mason is now going to have their turn at attacking. Looks like they're going to be going for the Far Mercy right now.
Yep, we got Sigma pre-firing just in case, ensuring that no one's coming out of that little tunnel there to the side, making sure that everyone, sticks on the other end of that choke.
Waiting right now, George Mason looks like they're taking a long way around. Oh, no, they're way back there. There are two of them, actually, way back here. trying to do a flank, but with only 2 heroes, I'm not quite sure how that's going to do. Where is that wrecking ball going? Where's he going?
Where did he go?
He is trying to move far away, but I gotta hand it. That's a creative hiding position.
He tried his best. I don't know what he was doing personally, but
You know what? But I gotta hand it. That is the favorite hiding position that I have ever seen. Just act like you head off the edge and then just hook onto it, ready to swing back up.
I was gonna say it was.
I wanted to see that play work out because it was actually so fun to watch.
I do love that.
But right now, George Mason's still struggling to get the push against Boise State. Gonna have less than 3 minutes to do so as Matt Merck and Maxwell just continue picking them off one by one. Matt Merck charging into them again. There's plenty of health to do so as well. And now see Lyric here is gonna help pocket Maxwell on the Echo. As we continue onwards here, Boise State is gonna hold George Mason again, looking for that full hold. You predicted on a little earlier, Blue. So can they do it? Can they meet it? Look at that pulse bomb thrown out right onto the Sigma. And as we continue onward, Boise State showing no signs of slowing down. They're not even having to use that many ultimates. And see, Matt Merck was really the ultimate. They almost got Matt Merck. He was pretty low on health there.
Exactly. I wonder if they're planning on somehow multi-ulting. I don't know if that's the way to say it. But
it's kind of, it has a nice ring to it, I'll say.
For a reason, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's what you do. You just try to wait and fight and keep the ultimate advantage. The problem is that Boise State is winning these fights so, for lack of a better term, effortlessly. It's that they're not needing to use their ults. So George Mason is just kind of holding up, trying to save the ults and ultimately get an ultimate advantage. But Boise State is just more than content to hold on to their own ultimates and be ready to match the Patriots when they do decide to use their ults.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, no, look, it looks like Boise State is really holding on to them, though. There's only 2 of them without their ults at this point. One of them almost has it. Maxwell, and again, even the one that's lowest, Maxwell's already more than halfway there. So this is probably going to be the fight to watch as everyone's charged up their ults. There goes a minefield thrown out by Matt Merck. I have to wonder where it was dropped. He rotated very far up. That Tracer tries to take him out, but is eliminated by Chosen. Again, slams into them, moving up onto the roof and just floating down. Matt Merck so effortlessly doing work on this wrecking ball. For sure, yeah, no, he is on the chase with the wrecking ball. I mean, I love watching him. I love watching him. There's the Sigma
got a new
ult.
fan.
There is the Sigma ult.
Yeah, it doesn't really get anybody. Boise State is just insane, not being stopped at all. So there we go. Boise State looks like they're going to end this. George Mason already getting 1 tick, actually, getting kind of a sneaky flank, but it's not going to amount to just more than 1 tick. Boise State is going to clean up the point, claim this for themselves, and get a very statement win against George Mason. So great job all around by the Broncos. And well, I was teasing it earlier. We were going to talk to Doc Haskell, head coach of Boise State Esports. We can just see one more game play of the game here. This was the one that you said was your favorite play earlier.
I absolutely love it.
I mean, this is just the 2 tanks going ham for Boise State. It's the tanks.
It is the tanks.
They only needed the tanks. They didn't even need the DPS follow-up for that one. It was just catch them all in the Kravitics and then let Matt Merck charge forward. So that's going to be the win. Boise State versus George Mason University. Congratulations to the Broncos. All right, I was teasing it earlier. We have got Doc Haskell, Boise State head esports coach, joining us right here in the arena. Doc, it's great to have you joining with us, and what a great start to the week, the semester. I mean, 2 wins like that. What is it like having the new recruits? How are they doing?
Well, we've got Lyric and Clear. We've got obviously Jonathan Foraker in Clear, and we've got Carter Jones in Lyric. We've also got some other folks who are going to be coming along. We've got our first redshirt freshman in Daydream, Jenny Cummins, who's developing wonderfully, clipboard in hand right now. But those two players, the ones we talked about, Clear and Lyric, were folks that we have been keeping our eye on for years and years. They're perfect into this family, and they give us a whole added dimension because a lot of our opponents who we play year in, year out, don't know them very well, and they can do some different things.
Well, talking about players that have been with Boise State for a little while, Matt Murk has made quite a splash during his time here at the Broncos, and he's recently won an All-NACE award. Can you tell us a little bit more about that award and what it means for the Broncos?
You bet. He's first team All-NACE tank. That's out of 400-plus players in NACE. He's voted the top tank by his peers and many of the coaches, and he's exactly that. He's one of the top players in the nation, an amazing tank, contenders level tank. He's going to get some sniffs again this year for Owl. He's as strong as you get, but we're so glad to have him on the team. And where he goes, we go. When he's playing phenomenal like he did tonight, some of those shatters just out of nowhere as Ryan, then it's hard for us to lose a fight when he's well protected and playing the way he plays.
Okay, I'm going to get you out on this, Doc. I have to say, when we were taking a look, though, up onto the arena and looking at the tank specifically, I saw a certain plush minion figure being thrown up toward the arena, being thrown by a certain someone. Can you give us just a backstory on that?
Well, yes. I may have lobbed a plush minion up at Mr. Mercadante's dome a couple of days ago. They were sassing me a little bit in comms, and we don't suffer any fools. Not at the beginning of the year, not at any time. So we were playfully resetting our expectations.
All righty. Well, you know, whatever it takes, and it looks like it certainly paid off as the Broncos getting 2 wins tonight. Now as we look toward the end of the night, you know, I brought it up a little bit earlier, but now you get the opportunity to call out the player of the game. This is your first prediction, trying to predict the player of the game. Who are you going to go with?
I'm going to have to go with, I think, oh, shoot. I don't really know. This is kind of hard. I would say Mac.
Yeah, Matt Murk is such a dependable person, but we could also see it, you know, go to any of the supports as well. You know, Plato also had a lot of boops, you know, as Lucio, so that could be it. But it's in fact going to be Matt Murk, and look at you, you know, it seems, you know, veteran casters here, we miss our predictions all the time on who's going to be player of the game, but you just salter on in and get it on your first pick. So congrats on that. And it's going to be Matt Murk, player of the game, brought to us by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes the team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Matt Murk is your player of the game. It's so fitting also that he's a kinesiology major.
I know, right?
Playing the one hero, Wrecking Ball, just going all over the place here. Whether he was on Wrecking Ball or Reinhardt, he was just doing work for the Broncos. So congrats on him for getting the first player of the game of the season. But I am sure that is not the end that we have of him. So as we're prepared to close out tonight, do you have any final thoughts, Blue?
I just think the Broncos and, you know, the Patriots alike, they both had a fantastic game, but, you know, Broncos pushed a little bit harder, but great game to both of them.
Yeah, great game. A lot of fun to watch. We hope it's fun for all of you to watch there. And we'll leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope you enjoy your top 5 plays.
Thank you.
Again, they're going to take an indoor route here. Actually, look like they're going to be rotating up.
Yeah, it looks like Miami is waiting for him, though, with a solid Maywall trying to keep him back, but they fire back with another one.
That is a beautiful Maywall by Goblin. Just split Miami up right down the middle. They just fall one Eve out of their mech. But one boot deserves another as Mad Mark is going to find himself eliminated. Josen and Plato are trying to turn this fight back into the Broncos' favor. Kabunga eliminated. The tank down for Miami. CGS also playing on the point. Can they do it? A double, a triple from Maxwell is going to take ultimates to use. So at this point, just make sure you can fight as a team and then head back onto the point. Boise State is doing that right now, throwing out that blizzard. George Mason caught up in it. Actually, no, it looks like they went out of the way, but they're still going to face a lot of damage. It's just that little thing that's always in the back of your mind. And now the Broncos, they just close that out 2-0. Plato is going to get the play of the game. Has some measure here. I'm curious as to what that was. It's just, you know what? Sometimes you just got to hold down left mouse button to win.
Sometimes it just happens. I mean, her and Diva alike.
We choose yes or no here. You're predicting yes or no. Do they get 3 in a row?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see if they get the ace or not. Maverick is just waiting right now. Look at that for a minute. Look how many people are in the air, and Maverick just slams into them. What is going on?